How do you build a legacy? One day at a time, one race at a time, one lap at a time. In 2025, Niece Motorsports celebrates its 10th season in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. The team was founded by Al Niece, a businessman and a veteran of the United States Marine Corps, serving in Vietnam. Entering its 10th season, Niece Motorsports has earned 9 wins and amassed 50 top 5 finishes and over 100 top 10s. The team has made NASCAR's version of the playoffs on 5 occasions. Follow along as we take you behind the curtain and into the stories of the people who've built the team. This is Rob Rose.
Who was Rob Rose?
Who was Rob Rose? Rob Rose was a individual that was more than just a sponsor, more than just a dad, a husband. I mean, he was a leader. I mean, he did so many things. The experiences that he told me about, like having a pilot license, and when he got his motor home, he went and got his CDL to do that. Like I believe he was a certified public accountant. He was the man. I mean, he could do anything. He was smart. If you walked into a room with him, he was the sharpest, quickest, wittiest, most intelligent person in that room. And he captivated people. He captivated me. But in the day, like he just wanted to come to the racetrack, hang out, talk about his brand. He was proud of Wex. He was proud of Carson. He was proud of Ross. He was proud of Niece Motorsports. He was very proud of his wife Stacy, his children. We always found a way to talk about Ryan's football career in college. But Rob Rose to me was just an outstanding individual that I really looked up to and admired a lot and respected tremendously.
We met Rob at a unique time in all of our careers and lives where he came in to racing through Dean Thompson. I mean, there's no way around it. The Thompson family and what they were doing, shipping their products with Worldwide Express, and Rob was tasked with managing and combining 3 companies and growing that business for them. So he came into the racing through Dean, and they had a great relationship. But as Rob got involved in racing, he realized how much he loved it. So he went from wanting to fly places to he bought an RV and wanted to travel to the races and do his work remotely, but from racetrack to racetrack. And he fell in love with the sport of racing, which is so cool to see a guy that age. He was not young, and he caught the bug of racing, which so many of us in the industry catch, and we make it our life's passion, and we make it our career. He did it through his company with Worldwide Express, Global Trans, and Unishippers to combine those 3 and grow it. He wanted to do that through racing and wanted to grow the business, and he used Niece Motorsports as that platform.
So when I first met Rob, I was on a Zoom call, sitting in my office. There's 4 or 5 other people on the call. It was a call about transportation, trucking, shipping items with one of our, at the time, current drivers, and them wanting to move a product that they produced. And that's the first time I met Rob, and I didn't really understand C-level titles at that point, and didn't think much of it. Got to know him. Fast forward to COTA that year, meet him in person at the track, and I was like, wow, he's the guy, right? Like, you just in person, a Zoom's call or a Teams call is different than in person, and it's like, man, this guy is captivating, like, gets your attention. And we got talking, and our season was so on the truck that he was, helping sponsor at that time. And he kind of really had a thirst of like competition, right? He was competition driven. It just wasn't financially driven. He was competition driven. And he's like, hey, I want to run better than this. I want to do better than this. What do we got to do? And really that's what led to the conversations with Ross and Carson and expanding Worldwide Express and Global Trans and Unishippers on our trucks. And, meeting him was a complete breath of fresh air. of an individual that had the horsepower financially and understood how to get it, how to make it work on the business to business relationships within the network of NASCAR, the community of NASCAR, but then also understood like, we want to perform, we want to run good. It takes this, and this to do that. Let's go get it. And really, when I first heard that out of him was we were at a racetrack and we were talking about other teams that do this, and this. And he goes, hey man, that's cool. We just got to do it too, right? And he goes, you know, the wonderful thing about America is we can spend more money and we can achieve more things, and we just got to go get it. And that stuck with me because he's right. Like, that's the attitude you got to have. You have to be all the way in and get after it. And you can't be looking at everyone else's backyard going, well, why do they have that and we don't? Well, it's simple. You just have to work harder and get after it.
So I met Rob Rose. He was former president of Worldwide Express, who sponsored us for multiple races and multiple trucks even. And I met him at Martinsville, and Cody Efaw was, working the deal and trying to get them to be a sponsor. They wanted to be a sponsor in racing, and I remember meeting him at Martinsville for the first time, and they were selling Ross because Ross had won races. He was running on Sunday, and they were probably going to sponsor him on Sunday, but they were going to sponsor a few races of trucks for Ross, and maybe like one or two of me. And the next time I met him was at Bristol Dirt, the Dirt Bristol race, and we met him, and that's basically where we were putting the deal together for like 1 or 2 races with me and 5 with Ross and whatever. That was a race we happened to run really good at, and I think it was like, how the progression went was like stage 1, he was asking, all right, how many races does, like, we were like running like 4th, and he was all excited, like, he texted Cody like, hey, how many races is really open? And by stage 2 we took the lead, and it was like, hey, how many races can I buy, like, for real this year? And then like we were leading towards the end of the race, and he said, I don't care what's available, I'm buying them all. And by the end of the race, we almost won, ran second, and I think the conversation then began of, I want the whole year the next year. So like, it was a good one for him to be on the box, a good one for him to fall in love with racing, right? And it was a good one for us to perform really well. But I remember that was like the progression of Rob Rose, and pressing the attack, right? Like, that was him. Like, that was perfect. This place was perfect for him because it was, me and Ross were about perfect. He was so aggressive. He wanted to win at everything, whether it was, I'm sure, the golf course or whatever, right? And it was, you wanted to win. And when he came into racing, there was nothing more he wanted to win than be everywhere and beat everybody and win while doing it. So for us to really perform was really important. And, that's what I got to know right away about Rob was, he was just so aggressive at everything.
Rob's commitment to Niece Motorsports from day one was very relevant as we got into it more, and he saw more potential in all of us as individuals, and then all of us together as a team. I don't think it ever wavered. He pushed me to be better. He, paraded me around to different meetings at racetracks, and he really educated me a lot and gave me a lot of confidence and support and knowledge to be a better leader, to be better on the business side, to push presentation, and he really was like part of the company, but was a sponsor. But he really was Niece's #1 fan and wanted us all to be better. And he had the ingredients or the formula on how you do that. And he shared that with me, and he shared that with Ross and Carson and the people within these walls, and pushed us all. He was tremendous in our longevity. We probably wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Rob Rose and Worldwide Express. Like, they ignited a fire within us that we had lost, and he found it again and pushed us all to be better. And I still use, a lot of the things he's taught me and the knowledge that he afforded me to push through now and how I think about things and being innovative. So Rob we wouldn't be here without Rob. And if Rob was still alive, I think Rob Rose would be part of the ownership group here. And I think we probably have a lot of wins and a lot more trophies in this building. And it's a shame because you can't think of what could have been, but it would have been amazing.
The run that we had with his leadership at WEX was incredible. It was one of those relationships that meant more, and they molded their entire marketing strategy around racing. It's still unbelievable to me that he's not a phone call away, that I can't pick up the phone and call him. I remember I was at home the night that Cody called, and I said, "Hey man," and it was just silence, and like the words he said just still ring in my ears as we bring it up, because it doesn't seem real. I had just seen him. He'd actually sent me a picture the night before he passed, a selfie from Nashville, and just happy, smiling, looked great, and was never going to wake up that next morning. So it still does. It's been years, and it doesn't seem real. He was larger than life, and the belief he put in this team, and to Carson and I as drivers, and Dean as well, that's one of those special people that changed lives, and his support altered in a really, really positive way our careers and lives. And ultimately them stepping into the Cup Series with me on the one car and being our anchor partner the next year was incredible. Something that I didn't foresee happening, but he was all in and wanted and saw a lot of value. And he told us the value and what we brought to the company was worth it for the marketing spend. So still unbelievable. After he passed, I couldn't help it. Like a week later, I just hit his name in my contacts to call him, and it went to voicemail, and I just couldn't believe it. It was he was gone.
He became super involved with the team, and he also added, I think, a lot of pressure for us, right? Because he was not going to be involved if we weren't going to win. Like, if anything other than winning was unacceptable. So for us to perform really well was super, super important. And I think it drove us to be better, but at the same time, he knew that we needed all the pieces. We weren't there yet to win races. And, when we unfortunately lost him and then went on to win those races, there were a lot of times, where we felt like we were winning for Rob, especially Richmond, where he, kind of grew up, and that was his race, the Worldwide Express 250. It was bound for us to win that race. One of our worst races in 22 was Richmond, and then we go in 23 and win, and have a truck that was questionable and still won, and still had that luck on our side, and still had the way to execute and find a way to do it. I think was the most fulfilling when we won the Worldwide Express 250, and because that one I felt like that was Rob's race, so we won Rob's race.
When I met Rob, he always talked about Richmond. He talked about the area. He had a degree from Richmond College or Richmond University, and he was very proud of that area. And he told me stories of his buddies and their ideas and growing up and living there, and it meant a lot to him, that area. And him sponsoring or being the entitlement sponsor of that race, that was a win for him already, right? And for him to be able to win that race with the entitlement sponsor would have been like the crown jewel of all jewels for Rob Rose. And it's unfortunate we weren't able to do it while Rob was alive. However, it was amazing that we were able to do it, and it meant so much. And I remember after the race, being in the driver owner lot, being around the motorhome, having Stacy and Ryan there, and my wife and kids, and a couple members from the team there, like, just closure. It was just like, man, Rob set out to do something, and the guy is no longer with us or on this earth, but he's still accomplishing goals that he set out to do. And because he instilled it in all of us that, we need to be better, we need to do this, we need to do that. And we lived it out. We still went and achieve those things without him being here, but he pushed for all that to happen, and he's the reason why it happened.
I remember when we were in Texas, his wife was there and she was crying, I was crying. That was our first win, and them living in Texas was so perfect, and I don't even remember if she was planning to go, and somehow we convinced her to go, and it was perfect for her to be there. And I had so many people there, but for her to be there for that one, I think set the whole tone for the year to have a Rose there at every one. But I think that was the biggest one, was like knowing, at least on the racing side, like we're doing exactly what we're supposed to be doing, right? And we're doing it for him and for his family, and to see her emotion, right, in it. You know, she wasn't the one that fell in love with racing. You know, Rob was, but his passion went down to his family, and for them to be so passionate about, you know, us driving around in circles and winning races, they knew how much Rob wanted to be there and how much he cared about this program and winning those races and how important that was. So seeing their emotion just made it all worth it.
Rob, Rose's family, they were just good, down-to-earth people, blue collar. I mean, his daughters, his son, his wife Stacy, they're just great. They accepted us from day one. You know, there was no handshakes. It was hugs, right? It was look you in the eye, face to face. You know, talk to you like a normal person. You never felt like they were above you. You never felt that, you know, they were better than you. Like, you didn't need them. Like, you're family with them. And that continues. I still talk to Ryan here and there. I still talk to Stacy via text. They've come to races. You know, one thing, after Rob passed, we were able to win Nashville the following year. And Stacy was there and Ryan was there, and we swept that weekend. And I say we, Trackhouse and Niece, with Worldwide Express. Ross won in the Cup car, and Carson won in the truck. And to have that moment of closure with his family and our family was amazing. It's something I'll never forget. They're just great people, and you know, like I said before with Rob, he controlled an audience, and he pushed that and taught that to his kids and his wife, because they did the same in a very respectful manner. If I had any final words on Rob Rose, was just, the dude has made me want to get more credentials in life, right? Like, and I say that in regards of pushing outside of your comfort zone and being okay with failing, right? Being okay with, hey, I want to go do this. I might not get there, but do everything you can to go do it, right? I admire him for all the accolades that he has achieved. It makes me jealous, and this may sound weird, but going to his memorial service in Dallas with all his family and his peers, you know, and listening to them talk about everything he's achieved and done at a very young age was just remarkable. You know, it's made me want to do more things. It's made me want to go get a CDL. It's made me want to get my pilot license. I actually stepped outside my comfort zone and went and got like my scuba diving certificates that I never would have done if it wasn't for Rob Rose. You know, I've looked into flight simulators now, and I'm hoping to get some time to get my pilot license. Like, I want to do certain things and push myself that I probably would have never done if I never would have met Rob. And I'm thankful for that, and I'll be able to hopefully apply that to my own children someday, thanks to Rob.